In the 1850s, the hottest accessory in England wasn't a hat or a hairstyle, it was a fern. And this obsession sent otherwise genteel Victorian ladies scaling cliffs, trespassing on private estates, and helping push a few species to the edge of extinction. A couple of weeks ago, I told you about the Wardian case, the little glass box that made growing ferns indoors actually possible. Today, we're talking about what happened once everyone in England wanted one. The term Pteridomania, fern madness, was coined in 1855 by Charles Kingsley in his book Glaucus, or The Wonders of the Shore, where he wrote about daughters everywhere getting seized by it. And he wasn't exaggerating. Before the Wardian case, ferns were basically impossible to keep alive in a Victorian home or even in a garden. London air was thick with coal smoke, and ferns hated it. Once that problem was solved, ferns went from delicate and finicky to the fashionable thing every household needed to have. Suddenly, ferns were everywhere, and I mean everywhere. Fern motifs turned up on wallpaper, clothing, ceramics, jewelry, furniture, and even gravestones. There's genuine debate about whether custard cream biscuits owe their curly-edged design to fern fronds. Wealthy families built entire glass ferneries onto their homes. Middle-class families who couldn't afford that filled Wardian cases with local ferns and moss instead. Smaller flecks, same energy. Here's the part I actually love, though. Fern hunting became one of the first outdoor, male-dominated hobbies where women were allowed to fully participate, and without a chaperone. At a time when women couldn't vote, own property, or graduate university, "Let's go find ferns in the woods all day" was somehow considered acceptable. Sometimes progress sneaks in through a hobby. But, and you knew there would be a but, demand for rare ferns eventually outpaced what nature could supply. Commercial dealers started hiring guides specifically to strip remote habitats and stockpile rare species in greenhouses to sell year-round. And the money involved was genuinely wild. A single non-native fern could sell for over £1,000 to a wealthy collector. That's about £125,000 today. That's not expensive hobby money, that's sell your house money. Naturally, this created a black market. Courts spent the 1880s and 1890s regularly prosecuting people caught trespassing on private estates to steal ferns, actual botanical criminals. Some collectors even published fake location guides to throw off their rivals. This is the part that ties back to why I wanted to make this video. The over-harvesting wasn't just bad manners or even just illegal. It did real, lasting ecological damage. The Killarney fern, with its delicate, almost ghostly fronds, became the single most sought-after prize in the country. It was collected so heavily that it was thought to be entirely extinct in Scotland. It's since turned up again in a different form, but it remains one of Europe's most threatened plants to this day. The unfortunately named Dickie's bladder-fern had its entire original wild population completely wiped out at its original discovery site in Kincardineshire by 1860. It has recovered elsewhere, but that specific population never came back. The oblong woodsia fern saw its numbers plummet in the Moffat Hills, once home to Britain's most extensive population of the species. People were loving these plants literally to death. By 1865, at least one person saw where this was headed. Writer and fern enthusiast Nona Belair's argued that ferns needed legal protection, the same kind of protection given to game animals. It didn't happen. There was no fern poaching law. The craze eventually ran its course on its own, fading out by the early 1900s as tastes changed and electric lighting made glass ferneries feel outdated instead of cutting edge. Here's the uncomfortable part. We like to think we've moved past this. But look through the resale listings for a rare variegated Monstera, think back to the philodendron pink princess craze, or look what's still happening with wild poached succulents getting stripped from South African deserts to feed international demand, and yeah, different plants, same instinct. We really haven't changed that much. If you want more of these beautiful plant, unhinged human history deep dives, make sure you're subscribed. I've got a whole backlog of these that I'm dying to tell you about. See you next time, and thanks for watching.
If your plants look sad and you've lost all hope, tried everything, you're at the end of your rope. Should you throw them out into the street? Nope, just ask Planty Jen. If you wanna be a Planty acolyte, learn the tips and tricks to keep them growing right. Water, fertilizer, and the right amount of light, just ask Planty Jen.